Hey guys, it's Upa here. So today we've gotten Telyss, and I've gone ahead and decided to build her, but of course I'll show you the build that I've done. So the main thing that you need to consider when building Telyss is that there are kind of two approaches that people are taking. So the first is by simply building her as a support. So either way you want her to have the highest HP on the team. So I've made her have slightly higher health than my Irato, so you can see this is 1.17 million, and our Irato over here has 1.16. But subsequently, you have the option of building her either with more speed or more mastery. So I've opted for the more speed option. In fact, her speed isn't really that high because I've had to focus too much on her HP to be higher than Irato. It's really important that she has the highest health on the team so that she can start in her resonance form. But besides that, you can either go for mastery for more damage or more speed for more support. But anyway, let's take a look at the build that I have. So I've opted to just give her the highest HP pieces that I could give her, and this is the result. So we have this Bone Erosion set with 18.9% health, we have this Tough set, plus 3 on HP rate, we have the Boots, plus 2 on HP rate, we have the Accessory, which is plus 2 on HP rate as well, and then for the artifacts we have some good HP main stat pieces alongside HP rate subsets. So this is probably the best one, HP main stat plus 3 HP rate subset. And finally, the speed artifact. Regardless, you always want to usually have speed on this artifact 5. For blessings, I do have double A HP rate on her. One of them is pretty low, 27%. This one is also kind of low at 30%, but of course, overall it's pretty good. And then for emblems, this is what I went for. The main thing that we need to focus on is that I opted for double HP emblems. I think you can make an argument for choosing speed or even choosing mastery, so it kind of depends. You can wait for more feedback, maybe from the Discord board or something, and decide from there what you want. But I don't really think there's a bad option when it comes to Telyss, and all 3 options, at least for the bottom tier, actually work pretty well. So I broke through her to break through level 2, just so I could get that additional health to get higher than Irato. And as for the Echo, I'm using Bloody Fight over here, it's only level 10, and that was why trying to beat Irato's health, which has this 64% HP rate Echo, was really difficult, but thankfully we managed to do it. So I think we'll start with perhaps Planar Rift, and thankfully we have actually every single HP burn related event lined up today. So let's start with the Soul Rift, and this was an area I was stuck at for quite a while in the past, and I think what I'll do is I'll replace Marmello. So I've been seeing things on people in various Discord, my guild one and the main Discord, and they're saying that so far it seems that Telyss seems to be the main replacement for Marmello. And previously in this stage I wasn't able to clear it with the team that I had. And let me just make sure, at least some average gear is put on my other characters. Okay, let's fix this a little. Let's just give her a proper Bone Erosion piece to complete the set, even though we don't really have any good options, so okay, whatever. And let's set the preset also, so I believe there actually should be a new function to focus on the boss, which is really nice. Yeah, so okay, it applies for everyone, and I don't think we need to set any other preset beyond that. So focus on boss is really nice for this type of bosses where there are multiple minions. Alright, so what we should be noticing is that Telyss will be pursuing and attacking the enemy team pretty often, and additionally, she will be giving us small amounts of shields every time she does so as well. So this fight is already actually looking pretty easy, and I believe in the past the big problem we had was survivability, but this time actually it was really straightforward. So let's just keep going and see how far we can get. And as for damage, I mean, not the most amazing, but still very solid, and what you can see as well is that her shielding is actually very nice as well for this 4 million, I believe, and yeah, looking good so far. So we can keep going, and actually, considering how easy that previous stage was, I am pretty confident now that we probably can clear all 30 stages that we will be able to challenge today. And okay, before we move on, I just want to get a quick refresher of her skills. So I saw that we were immune at the start, and I'm not too sure what's causing that. Okay, yeah. So each time she enters resonance status, she grants all allies damage immunity. Although it says starting from the second time, so Not sure, but I believe we do start from Resonance Enhancement status anyway, because she has the highest initial health, and additionally she will increase our damage, or she increases our health, which consequently increases our damage for our HP burn / pursue and attack characters, and for this one, at the start of turn, we will basically take no damage. So all these are very strong skills, of course, and now that we have a single target enemy, I think this will be an even better demonstration than before as to Telyss's impact in the team as far as damage goes. So once again, her build is not very strong. Of course, she has nice HP, which is important for HP burn, but mastery-wise, it's very low. It's only, I think when we saw just now, it's around 80%. And ideally, we would want that number to be something like 150%, so that's a very big difference. And one other very important part, of course, is that Telyss inflicts deep HP burn too. Marmello does that as well, and I think that's why most people are thinking that Telyss will serve as a replacement for Marmello. And once again, another very easy fight, and the damage is also still pretty decent, and more importantly, the shielding looks good as well. So another fight that we just breezed through. And once again, in the past when I was using Marmello, I actually, I didn't test for a while now, but I was having some difficulty with the fight. And I think all these different damage reductions that she gives to your team and damage increases that she gives to your team through the HP up and deep burning too, it all really adds up and is all very effective, right? So far I think she's looking very good. I think that players, at least for Soul Rift, which is the thing we've tested only so far, will be using Telyss to beat higher stages, and this is what I've seen from people in my guild who've said that with Telyss they've been able to clear another 30 stages, so she is looking to be part of the meta HP burn team, at least for planar rifts, and of course we'll test the other modes in a little bit. So I think it's not going to be very interesting for me to show you every single boss for all 30 stages. That'll take too long. So what I'll do instead is I'll skip to either if something interesting happens while I'm clearing the 30 stages, or if not, we'll go directly into the next area of content to test. Alright guys, so we are nearing the end of the planar rift fight that I have to do, and I just wanted to show this before we move on, and that is that this was the boss which had 4 minions and the main boss itself, and you can see that our Telyss actually did some really good damage, out-damaging our Anhijin over here, and yeah, she's looking actually like a really strong character. So I'm really happy with her so far, and I think this should be the last few stages that we have to complete. So let's see, yeah, okay, so that's the last stages, and yeah, very easy. I breezed through the 30 additional stages, and I don't believe we'll be able to see players using Telyss until tomorrow when this updates, but I'm confident, if you're watching this after tomorrow, what you guys will see is that at the very top, we're going to be seeing players using Telyss in their teams, and that in itself goes to show that she's a very strong character to use. And now let's go on to our next mode that we'll test. So 7 stages of Doodly is going to be a big one. We'll do this after we test in Wuthering Coast, and the main thing I just want to do for this is a quick test and see if we try a HP burn lineup, what the damage will look like. So in this test, let's not use our pet at all, because that may artificially increase our survivability. And what we'll do is we'll sort by HP burn, and let's try like a regular team, I guess you can call it, first, right? So Irato, Narit, Marmello, Anhijin, and Marvilla. Normally you would use something like Bobo instead, but you can see she's unbuilt right now. And let's just do, some quick tests over here. Obviously, our Irato is going to be carrying in terms of damage, and actually even with this team with no pet, we are surviving all 20 turns, so at least survivability wise, I don't see Telyss doing anything that much extra for the team. And you can see Narit 174 million damage, Marmello 182, Anhijin 235, and overall we are at around the 3 billion range. Okay, 3.3. Let's do one more test and then we'll see the average. So around the 3.15 to 3.2 billion range. And now once again, let's swap out Marmello over here. And okay, 3.1, 3.36, and 3.5. Okay, so very slightly higher damage than usual. Once again, survivability isn't the issue, and that may go a long way in other areas of content, right? The additional survivability Telyss gives you. But overall, it does seem that Telyss does give a slightly better performance than Marmello in Wuthering Coast. I'm not really sure whether you really want to use her that much here anyway, but it's just something to consider. And now we have 7 Sages of Luli. So I'm at difficulty 6, and this is the team that I was using previously. So once again, let's just take a quick look at how much damage we're doing, and in fact it's pretty terrible. So one more time. Yeah, I'm very horrid damage. And now let's replace our Marmello over here and put in our Telyss. So okay, let's do one skip and then let's do one manual after. But right away, I mean, we can see the improvement, right? It's day and night. And I mean, that's really amazing. So let's just try one more time. And yeah, this wasn't a fluke, right? We did like 3 attempts with the Marmello team and it didn't work at all. And when we put Telyss in, our damage improves by like 1 billion. So extremely significant. From the very start, we can see the immunity she gave the team was already very useful. And from there, beyond that, I think it's just simply the various slate of buffs that she does. So, you know, deep HP burn 2, that one Marmello does, so no big deal. But things like increasing our team's health and many other effects which all just add up. So this is still a fight that I mean, I'm not clearing enough damage to reach difficulty level 7. So, you know, that is part of an issue, although, you know, I am doing auto, so the damage is less than it could be. But regardless, the fact that changing one hero and instantly getting such a major improvement in terms of damage just goes to show how strong she is, right? Now, without Irato, of course, the differences that you may see may be very different, although I do think Telyss on her own will function as a decent damage dealer. Obviously nothing amazing and definitely not comparable to a character like Irato, but still performs, you know, a pretty decent job overall. And this is of course good for free-to-play players. You know, having a character that gives both support and damage is always very valuable. Other characters I can think of, although not free-to-play, is someone like Irato, Giselle I mean. And yeah, it's looking really good. So I'm just going to do one last attempt with Divine Griffin Pet, and let's just do the skip fight. And the damage is, okay, just slightly better. But anyway, let's see the rankings. And I mean, yeah, straight away you can see first place here, immediately using Telyss. Second place, surprisingly, is not. And subsequently, we do have third using Telyss, and okay, this is myself. So below that, let's not really bother. But yeah, it's looking like Telyss is extremely strong for this, for 7 Sages of Luli. Okay, lastly, so I do want to test her in PvP, and I think it's going to be a little challenging to test her here because we do have very strong opponents, which I think if we sub out one character, it may cause us to lose completely, but let's just give it a try. So I think the team that I'll try is perhaps something like removing Irato and then putting in our Telyss. So let me find where Glyph is. She should be on the team here. And let's just quickly set our preset. It should be very straightforward with Apsara Special for preferred and the gem secondary. So this is really nice because Telyss on turn 1 will actually give our team immunity. And I'm sure that will be very useful for us. And I'm more interested in the page that shows after we complete the fight and whether it shows, and like the damage that it shows, whether it went a long way in providing damage reduction and the damage that she does as well. So I intentionally chose this team because it doesn't have Marie. If it had Marie, then, you know, our Telyss actually would just deal 0 damage. But if we fight non-Marie teams, which may happen, you know, in Classic Arena, in Advanced Arena where there's multiple teams, it might work a lot better. And what you can see over here is that our Telyss actually has done some really amazing damage. And once again, this isn't even our damage focus build, right? She has very low mastery, and that's something that you can fix when you build your character yourself, right? So let's find another lineup. I'm kind of hoping to find a CC team, so maybe let's go to Advanced Arena instead and try and fight a CC team instead, right? So I'm just looking for someone who has a strong CC team. Okay, like this player over here. And what we will do is we will, let's go to our Classic Arena and use the same team as before. So okay, we have to sub out some of our characters. So I believe what we have to do is move Apsara down here and then put in our Telyss. So like this. and then we can now go to Classic Arena and choose the preset. And then for this team, I mean, I'm not too concerned about whether I win this fight or not. I'm more focused on the third fight itself. So let's skip to that. Okay, so this is the fight that we are interested in. And this is a really strong CC team. I think the only issue is that he should be running Lydia instead of Penny, and the fight is basically over before it started. And let's just see what happened. So obviously, you know, our Marie and our Felicia are doing a lot of work, but our Telyss is matching our Felicia in damage. So once again, very strong performance from our Telyss over here. And let's fight maybe a HP deduction team. So this one I don't really have much faith in working. In fact, okay, let's fight this CC team first. So this is a really proper, fully established CC team, right? I faced him a few times and this CC team is very solid. So I mean, in turn 1 we immediately see that Telyss's immunity is really useful, reducing the damage we take from the Lydia over here. And that can be a big deal because sometimes Lydia's damage will trigger the first stage of Nicholas' Shelter of Faith buff, which consequently can affect the outcome of the entire battle, right? So the start is looking pretty close, but then our Telyss took one Pursue and Attack and just instantly destroyed the enemy team. And yeah, her damage is really nothing to scoff at, right? In PVE, we weren't seeing anything too crazy, but in PvP, it really is looking very strong. So I'm hoping that she gets one more Pursue and Attack so we can see one more time. Unfortunately, they are immune, but when she attacked the Lydia, she did do a good amount of damage, and it was enough for our Apsara to clean up. And the fight should be over now. Yeah, so once again, okay, let's see the stat page after this battle is over. Okay, so let's take a look at the outcome. So obviously, by putting Telyss and putting Apsara in this team, we kind of messed up our other two teams, but that's fine because that's not the focus of this video. And this time, our Telyss didn't do that much damage, but still it's a non-negligible amount, right? And every amount of damage kind of matters when it comes to fighting those meta teams, so still another very strong performance. Okay, lastly, let's fight a HP deduction team. So here we have High Traffic and, you know, very strong player. So let's give it a try against his team over here. So I don't really expect us to be winning this fight, and that's not just because we're using Telyss over here, but also because in general this team is, I would say, somewhat susceptible to combos of Ans and Hanya, specifically this kind of team. So I don't know where my preset went, so let's just put it once again. And once again, all we have to do is Special for Preferred and Gem Secondary. And let's see how this fight against the HP deduction team goes. Alright, so the battle's about to start, and let's see what happens in this fight. So immunity is going to be very useful, as mentioned already. Help keep us safe from that Lydia attack. And actually, now that I notice, this team is missing Apsara over here, but still a very strong lineup nonetheless. And I guess that actually gives us a fighting chance against his team. So we saw Telyss's Special 4, I believe, and it did a good amount of damage to all his characters. And then now we do have Marie for the cleanup. So maybe not the best, couldn't take away too much from that fight, but I think it still showed that if we can find the battle, should be this one. I mean, I did see Telyss do a good amount of damage, and that helped to kill his team, right? So I am trying to look for a team which has HP deduction with Apsara in it. So I'm looking through, this one doesn't have Hanya, so there doesn't seem to be many candidates, at least in this lobby. Okay, but we do have this guy, so let's try against this guy and see how that fight goes. Alright, so this is a fully proper HP deduction team with Kalana. There are some different variants running Agatha, some run Blaze as well, but this is still one of the stronger ones. So let's see how it goes. So immunity is working very well once again. I think that's one of the strongest parts of her kit. And what I'm interested in is whether we will be able to, we definitely did enough damage to kill them. So yeah, I mean, well, this worked out really well. I think against some much stronger HP deduction teams, it may be a much bigger challenge, but in cases like this, I mean, it was pretty straightforward, and our Marie is just simply stronger than everything that he can put up against us. But yeah, I mean, overall, I think that Telyss is a fantastic character. Once again, don't forget that she is only a mythic hero and freely obtainable, which means usually these kind of heroes aren't too great, but on the contrary, I think Telyss is fantastic in both PvP and PvE content, and is a character that every single player should go for. Now, of course, I think Nordak is a character which you should get first, but I think for your second mythic, it now is an option between Nita, Marie, or Telyss. Both very solid options, kind of depends on your situation, and especially if you're a free-to-play player, you will be very happy with how strong she is. So that's all we have for today, and I'll see you guys next time.